Hello and welcome to my channel When the Stars Aligned. My name is Kelly Rowland. I am a 6-2 pure generator. I'm here today to talk about the 3-5 profile. So if you have the 3-5 profile, or you're listening for your friend or your partner or your family member or your enemy, whoever you're listening for, this is for you. Now, the 3-5 profile is so fascinating. There is something incredibly gutsy and seductive about these people. Now, when we break it down, the profile, the first number is always going to be a conscious part of that person, and the second number is going to be the unconscious part of that person. So as a 3-5, you're consciously the third line, and you're unconsciously the fifth line. Now, being a conscious third line is like signing up for a roller coaster ride continually throughout your whole life. It's like you were born into a theme park and there's all these different rides, and not only are you gonna try them all, but you want to try them all. There's this conscious part of you, even when you're like, I want this all to stop, I want life to just slow down. There is this very conscious part of you that wants change in your life, that wants variation, that wants to experience all that there is to be experienced in life. Now, when we look at the metaphor of the house in human design, the first floor, the basement, is the one line, the investigator. Then we have the second line, which is the hermit, kind of doing their own thing in the living room while everyone's watching in the window. Then we have the third line, the one who's climbing up the stairs. So what does it mean to climb upstairs? It means to soar towards goals in life, to go from one place to another. It's being on this magical mystery ride of life. And the fascinating thing here, though, because you have that 5 line in your unconscious, every single experience that you undergo, every experimentation, every trial and error, it's actually building and shaping some message that your 5 line is here to carry through, to step on that soapbox and to speak to the masses, whether the masses is your family or your friends or your community, or maybe it's a corporation or a business or the world. There's something so admirable about you, and that admiration is derived from you embracing those challenges, embracing those roller coaster rides, and stepping on the ride and knowing, great, here I go again, and this is happening for me. Now, how you navigate these challenges in life and these trials and errors is really going to depend on your type. So the way that you go about being a 3-5 as a projector is going to be very different than the way you go about being a 3-5 as a generator. There's going to be similar themes, of course, similar conscious and unconscious patterns, but the way in which you engage with life will be different. Now, when it comes to relationships with you 3-5s out there, you're going to find that you are someone who needs to have freshness in your relationship. There's this theme of breaking bonds, being able to let something deteriorate, let something break down and fall away, so that you can use your true genius of innovating and putting the pieces back together in a better and new way, in a way that's better than it was before. You're a born innovator. You're not here to just accept the status quo and accept something for what it is. There's this desire in you to question, to see what's over that mountain. And that's why you are constantly given these mountains to climb. Sometimes there'll be little hills, and sometimes they're going to freaking feel like Mount Everest. But you're built for this. You are built for this, and it's about you trusting that in yourself. Life would not give you something that you couldn't handle. Sometimes it may pull on your deepest reserves, but you've got that in you. You've got that resiliency in you, and you're learning to build it through practice. And as we said, as you practice this, you really start to merge this image of yourself. And people can see it all along. And you may be someone who attracts a lot of projection unconsciously. People may not even notice it, that they project things upon you. Oh, who does he think he is? Who does she think she is? Why can't they just choose one thing? They're so erratic, they're so unstable, they can't just commit. Or they can see in you, wow, this person's incredible. They do so much. They're this jack of all trades. People unconsciously project upon you because you're actually built to rise up into a leader. And that happens unconsciously as you continue to gain experience and gain wisdom. Because as you fail and as you succeed, you really get to learn the ins and outs of this material existence, what works and what doesn't work, because you've tried it and tested it. And then you can then share your wisdom that you've gained with those who have the ears and the hearts and the desire to hear it from you. And that's not going to be everyone. Because remember this, you're not here to be the messenger for everybody. You're here to be the messenger for those who are drawn to you. And sometimes you're going to trigger people. And sometimes you're going to delight people and receive a lot of acknowledgement. But for you, even that is a trial and error. So giving yourself spaciousness, giving yourself this spaciousness to evolve into your very own life. Because it's like you've got the chisel in your hand. And like that Michelangelo quote about sculpting the statue of David, he said, I didn't sculpt him, I just let him free from the stonework. And it's like, this is what you're doing. There is this five line unconsciously embedded within you. This natural leader who has this message that you're sharing with the world, and you believe in it so much that you'd be willing to die for it. That each trial and error is like chipping away at this block and freeing up this expression that's just desiring to be carved. But you can't just snap your fingers and have it done. It takes that grit, it takes that woman power, that man power to allow it to emerge. Your blood, your sweat, your tears. So it's important that you have soul friends on this journey. People who support you in breaking bonds. People who give you the space to pull away and do you. Who give you that unconditional freedom to have your own experience, to be this living, breathing creature who's growing more and more into yourself every single day, every single moment. So with relationships and friendships, you may find that you're someone who needs to break bonds. So have friends that are okay with that. Or if in particular in relationships, you may find that you're someone who, it could go in a few different ways. You need to have lots of different relationships in order to discover what you do want and what is your truth and how you do want to stand up in the world and in your love. It could take 30 relationships, it could take 5. Or you're someone who, if you really do like that sense of having one person you grow with, you call in someone who's willing to have quite a wild, varying, dynamic relationship. It's open to change and movements and growth and understanding. So this is a beautiful profile. Of course, there's so much more to it, but I wanted to just give this baseline to really open up the doors into this incredible 3-5 experience. So are you a 3-5? Do you know a 3-5? Do you love a 3-5? What are some of your favorite things about 3-5 profile? And what are some of the hardest things? I'd love to hear. And of course, if you enjoyed this, make sure to give this a thumbs up and subscribe, because I'll be posting about all the profiles, all sorts of things about human design, Mayan astrology, and I'd love to have you on the journey.